Yo, 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 what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Volume 1 of the Vector Candle. Now, these videos are going to be designed at helping you understand the Vector Candle. You hear so many people talking about this Vector Candle story. What is a vector? What's that green candle on your chart, bro? What's that pink candle? What does the blue and the red mean? Look, let me put it to bed right now. This is going to be a series of videos that are going to help you understand how to read the vectors. Okay? I'm going to give you the groundwork required so that when you see a green vector candle or a blue vector or red, you're going to have a good understanding on what's actually going on. So check this out. What is a green or red or blue vector candle? Well, let's start with what is a vector. Okay? A vector candle is a big candlestick. Can be a small one, but we'll get to the classification of various sizes of vector candles because they do play their role. But the principle says that when we get a nice big single print of a vector candlestick, we know that something's going off. If it's green, it would imply that Mr. Market Maker is either hitting liquidation points whilst closing his longs and building shorts at the same time. Bro, how are you to understand what this candlestick means if all of those three instances are happening at the same time? Well, firstly, we need to understand what makes a vector candle become the vector candle. So quickly, you may have seen me do this before. Retail traders right here. Binance is right here. And Market Maker is right here. So when the retail trader says, I want to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin leveraged, he goes to Binance, he pings the order to Binance. Binance then pings the order over to Market Maker. Market Maker then returns that order back to Binance to give it to you. And Binance then charges you a limit fee or a market order. But what's going on inside of that? Well, we know this is a zero-sum game. And we know that Binance doesn't give you the capital. In other words, if you make money, Binance doesn't pay you. It comes from the liquidity provider. That's why they're called market makers. They make markets because they are liquidity providers. Binance is just the middleman. So when you go long for $100, Mr. Market Maker goes against your trade and goes short. Because when you go long, this is where your liquidation point is. And this is where your short liquidation is also up here. So whether it's a short or a long, Mr. Market Maker will go and set an order against you. Now, you can't afford to be in a drawdown for too long. That's why you've got a liquidation point. So whenever you marry up your position and you take a position in Bitcoin or for whatever asset you decide to trade, there is a margin requirement. And that margin comes up as an order, as a pending order in the charts. So that when you go long, this is where you get liquidated or wherever your stop is placed. Okay? Because when your stop is placed or whenever your liquidation order is hit, it's an active order that is being taken by Mr. Market Maker. Look at it like this. Price goes up. You're long. You are now in $100 worth of profit. But Mr. Market Maker has gone short against you. So he's negative $100. Now, if you're in a $100 position and you are profitable by $100, the only thing that's left for you to do is to take your profit. Because you can't be irrational. Mr. Market Maker can. He can be in a drawdown for as long as he needs to be because he knows where he's going to send price. Now, let's take the scenario of if you are in a $100 long, but you're losing. So you went long here, and now price is going against you, and here is your liquidation point. So now your $100 trade is now minus $100, and if it gets to your liquidation point, the margin that you put up for that trade, let's say 150, okay, means that when you hit that point, your order's going to get closed. But remember, Mr. Market Maker is short against you. So if price does go against you and it comes down and hits your liquidation point, down here is an order that gets triggered. That order is a sell. That for Mr. Market Maker is a buy to cover. So when your liquidation of your long gets hit, Mr. Market Maker's short gets brought back because you sold and he buys back at the lower price from his short. So you're thinking, so why is that relevant to me? Because this is what constitutes the development of what a vector candle is, because a vector candle is what is happening to retail traders. It's where Mr. Market Maker is aggressively hitting the range because he is able to tap into traders' liquidation points and stops, because that's where most of them appeared inside this zone, inside this zone, inside this zone, and then again at this point. But behind these zones that are being taken, Mr. Market Maker is setting orders at the same time. You see, as I said to you before, he does three things. He's either building shorts, closing longs, okay, and hitting liquidation points at the same time. So which one is it? Well, we only know that by the way he moves price in terms of vectors. So let's just look at Bitcoin for a minute earlier on the 1 hour time frame. Check this out. You've got a big blue vector candle appearing above the key 23,250, above the 23,000 zone, and try to make it up towards the 23,500 area, but not successful at that. When I saw this play happening by Bitcoin, I was getting ready to run the short. I wanted to wait and see if Bitcoin could actually roll over from that point, because it's starting to show the behavior of doing this. Look. Blue vector candles pushing price up, comes above, tries to move towards the 50 EMA, and then rips back down again. Does it again in Asia, initiates a stop hunt rise, and then rips it back down again. Price then starts moving up with Bitcoin, and it keeps on going up. The dollar index at this point in time was going higher, and Euro USD was actually dropping, but Bitcoin was moving up. And what do you hear me say? Bitcoin's last to move. Going into the smaller time frames, I can see that I've got a collection of vector candles. Where is it? 5 minute time frame. Here we go. Mr. Market Maker's liquidating shorts. He's hitting the shorts. He's realizing a return. He's buying. He's now hitting the short liquidations by closing into his longs that he had built in the previous move over here, because he builds his longs when price is dropping. He closes his longs, but he also builds shorts at the same time, because traders are coming into the chart and buying and buying. And what happens when someone buys? Someone is selling. And that's what makes a vector candle. It's the engagement between buyer and seller, and how much of them are there happening at a particular point in the chart. So we see these green vector candles appearing, and we say to ourselves, okay then, if Mr. Market Maker is trying to run his shorts from this area, what would give us a reason to believe that he's going to come down? Now, this is where we start taking into other considerations of the hybrid system. Okay, where we're talking about deviations away from the 50 EMA, and where we've got certain stopping volume candle principles, a 5 and 13 EMA strategy. All right, there's a plethora of strategies that you can apply with the hybrid system. And this is something that I talk about with the patrons, with the masterclasses. We've got whole and half number strategy, learn the hybrid, how much of the candle will you take, Heikin-Ashi scalping strategy, how to trade the daily open, when is a retrace a continuation. We talk about various strategies inside of the hybrid system, but I'm giving you a basic strategy with the vector candles. So with this green vector candle principle, I know that Mr. Market Maker is trying to move price higher. And he's doing that because he's doing it at speed. So the clue for you guys is, when you see a green vector candle appearing, there's something happening. Mr. Market Maker is running liquidity. He's hitting traders' previous stops. So the guys who went short over here are paying the price because they didn't take any profit when price moved all the way down here. And Mr. Market Maker made his presence known with the red vector candles, where he was marking price down lower to encourage traders to go short so he can go long. Because when you go short, what happens? Someone goes long. And we know retail trader ain't going long when price is dropping. If you have the understanding of the hybrid system and the market maker approach, you go long at the lowest point. Is that not what they do? Is that not what happens in economics? You buy low and then you sell high. You don't buy an investment and anticipate to sell it at a lower price. No, you wait for it to go up. Now, of course, given certain circumstances, if you have to get rid of it because of certain situations, fine, that's a different story. You've got no choice. But if you had the opportunity to hold on to an investment and wait for it to increase in value, are you going to close it at a loss? Are you going to close it at the lowest point? No, you're not. So why do retail traders buy at the highest point? We get clues of that through the market maker's principle of the vector candles. So whether you see green vector candles appearing at the highs, or you see red vector candles appearing at the lows, When price is rising and you see a green vector, it means Mr. Market Maker's preparing to run shorts. When you see a green vector candle appearing at a red vector candle appearing at the lows, you know he's marking down the retail traders to go short so that he can go long at the lowest possible point. Here's an exercise for you, ladies and gentlemen. Go in the charts and take every red vector candle and green vector candle and marry them up. See if you can find if they match up. So there's an example. Red vector candle, go right, and you see it comes up and gets recovered. Red vector candle, go right, see it gets recovered. Go back in the charts, guys, and see if you can see that principle happening. It doesn't always have to be recovered by a green vector candle. The green vector candle just tells you that they're getting ready to just run up and recover the vectors, the recovery of the previous candlesticks at speed. That's all it means, okay? So like, look at this. You've got a violet vector candle right here. You go across, it gets recovered right here. And then, of course, the green vector candle comes up and recovers this zone, which inside of this zone was a vector candle on the smaller time frame. So if I actually come up here and mark off this point right here, so let me just get the arrow. This there is a vector candle. How do we know it's a vector candle? I hope. There it is. How do we know that's a vector candle? There it is. And this is a strategy that I'll be talking about and introducing to you guys soon. How to look at a chart like this and know what is a vector candle without having the indicators. That's when we start coming into understanding the actual structure of a candlestick. You see, retail trader looks at that and says, that's a big bullish candlestick. I look at it and say, that's a bag of shorts that have just been opened by trapping the retail trader into the belief that price is going to go higher. But what they're doing is they are actively engaging in hitting liquidations on the retail traders who went short over here. Well, let's just take the chart that we're looking at right now. We're looking at Euro USD. Let's take the chart and understand the principle. You know what? I'm just going to go back in the chart as far as I can and show you points of vectors. So here we go. What point is this? This was on the 23rd of June. Green vector candle presence right here. Well, I haven't got the indicators in front of me. Okay? I've just gone to a random point in the chart. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. I don't care whatever it is. I don't care. I have no idea where I'm going. I'm going to pull off a vector candle without using the hybrid system. This looks like a vector candle. This looks like a stopping volume candle. This looks like a red vector candle. So let's go take this into TradingView and see if there are vector candles behind it. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. So we've just pulled a random point in the chart. All right. And if you think I've actually looked at it beforehand, I'll disprove that in a minute. Look, this is a green vector candle. This we said was a stopping volume candle. And then we said this was going to be a red vector candle. All right. This is without the indicators. Look down. May the 4th. TradingView. May the 4th. Green vector candle. Stopping volume candle. Red vector candle. How did we know? Don't believe me? Let's go back. Let's keep going back. Keep going back. Random point in the chart. Random point. I have no idea. I'm not stopping. I have no idea wherever I'm going to go. Go back all the way to December. Let's go to December, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So what have we got here? Let's go to December. So December the 8th. All right? Are these vector candles? 3 pushes to the high, ladies and gentlemen. All right? 3 pushes. So we got one vector candle right here, another vector candle right here, and another vector candle right here. I think this is a blue vector candle, and these are 2 green ones. I might be wrong. So let's go with the date. So what have we got? The 8th of December. All right, then. So let's go back to the 8th of December. April. Let's just zoom out a little bit. I want to show you that so you know I'm not blagging as such. Here we go. What have we got? Is that it? No, that's on the 1 hour, Euro USD. That was on 30th of November. What date was it? It was... So it was Euro USD on the 7th of December. Okay, so I'm still a bit far. All right, so here we go. All right, here it is. Okay, then. So I was wrong. I said this was a vector candle, this was a vector candle, and this would be a blue vector candle. All right? Well, green vector candle, blue vector candle, not a vector, not a vector. All right? Let's just take it on to this time frame over here on MT4. Let's go all the way to December. Just to prove a point. I'm trying to save face right now, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right, then. What was it? 7th, 8th of December. Okay, then. So it matches up. You see it? There's the December point. Whoops. It matches up there. Happy days. Blue vector, green vector. Go even into lower time. I ain't even going to go into it. But you get the idea, ladies and gentlemen. That the principle says that there is a way to understand where vector candles reside, even if you don't have the indicators. Okay? Now, this is just a snapshot of what's to come. I'm going to be showing you people how to utilize this. All right? Now, another thing. These are a few of the trades that I took on the principle of the vector candle, just so that you can understand how to utilize it. Here was a few trades that I took today. I showed the patrons. I did a scalping session where I was trading and trying to take advantage of some trades on Euro USD. Now, look at this. So these were shorts. I saw this big green vector candle. Remember, I said that the green vector candle itself tells me that Mr. Market Maker is getting ready to run shorts, okay? By inducing the trader to believe it's now time to go long. So I started building shorts from this low point right here. I see price move up aggressively. Gave me another opportunity to run some more shorts. So I opened 2 more shorts right there. Then I saw that the vector candle stopped here and there was no more vector candles inside of this zone. I saw that they come back up into the recovery of the red vector candle in that zone partially, but then they rejected that zone. So I opened more trades inside of that area with the anticipation of seeing price coming back into the recovery of the green vector candle. Look what happened. They made their way back into it and closed off all of those trades. Happy days. Yeah, we did the same over here. Saw a 10 pip drawdown from this. So yeah, about 7-8 pip drawdown, but I started to add some more positions at the high point because I saw the recovery of the vector candles coming in. See, when I opened the shorts in this area here on Euro USD, I saw the red vector candle, but I didn't pay myself. That was the mistake I made. The move was that fast that they came straight back into the recovery of the vector candle. Look. Then they started to move up 3 hits to the high. Then didn't see no vectors. Retail started to jump in on the move to the upside thinking, yeah, that's it. Euro USD is going up. Not me. I saw the vector candles right here and I was anticipating price to come back down. All right. And I'll show you the video right now. So here is the video where you see this move right here on Bitcoin. So if I bring this up, where we talk about the justification for running the short in here at the recovery of the vectors. So check this short clip. Interesting how they're aggressively snapping down lower now. Might look to try and capitalize on this. It's going quite aggressively down. 5-minute time frame. Coming back into that same spot. Rejection of the psychological high. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Could this be a fake up continuation down lower? If I do see a red vector candle coming in at this point right here, ladies and gentlemen, should see a vector on the 1-minute time frame. Should be. No vector. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 6 seconds left. No vector. That's crazy. No vector candle. Here we go. I knew it. I knew it. Come on. Get back into that green vector candle in that zone. This move was designed as a stop hunt. Now dollar index is moving back up. There is a clean rejection. Just go into trading view just for a split second just to understand where I'm at. Let me go into the 1-minute time frame on there. How close are we to this volume profile? Let me just pull up the session volume profile. That way I'm on the understanding of where price is moving towards. Oops, no, this one. Here we go. Oh, God, Tino, what have you done there, bro? There you go. Okay, so that's where we are. There's the point of control up there, but we've got high volume nodes down here, which is pretty interesting. And we've got the next zones down here, which is where interest resides at. Got a vector candle on the 1-minute time frame that it did print it on here, but it didn't on MT4. Okay, so is this going to be the principle of the red vector at the highest point? Maybe. Let's go into MT4 again. Right now we're on our way down. We've managed to get in 2 shorts from that high zone right there. So now it all makes sense as to whether or not I decide to really, if I decide to hold this trade out, because dollar index itself is showing strength to move higher. 30-second time frame on the on Euro USD is showing resistance right now. So that's good news. And we're going to see if I see a breakdown lower, then cool, we would then come back into this point right here. And if I notice the key whole and half numbers, you can see that they've been doing this all around the key 2400 zone right there. So that is really important for me as a trader to understand what they're doing around whole and half numbers, building the shorts above key notable areas. Is this the zone they're building shorts from? And they are aggressively come down from them. So we're waiting to see if that's going to be the narrative, if they're going to continue, because that 800 seemed to have reacted really well in the chart. Coming down to the 5 and to the 50 EMA, 200 EMA. Try to come back up and recover the vector candle, but it's the first time that it's come as a vector candle on the 1 minute time frame when it's made these highs. So we would understand that the volume at the lows, okay, if we go on that basis, you can see that where they've tried to sell off at these high points, volume isn't as much as what it was right here. So that could be the trigger of a sell program to start marking Euro USD down lower in line for the start of a new 30-minute candle. Here we go. We've got 30-minute candle coming into play. Let's see if that's going to be the case. Could start recovering this 30-minute candle, so I've got to be very cautious with my play right now. 33 seconds until that actually plays out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the aftermath of what had happened after that. The red vector candle principle came in. They initiated a stop hunt rise and then they ripped down into the ranges. I closed on the vector candle point recovery right there. They recovered that one. And then, of course, I saw the same scenario and I was able to exploit again in that zone. And then I was able to exploit on this zone again. I didn't take that much of a profit on this move, but I saw a bit of a drawdown. Could have added some more trades up here, but I was getting myself ready for the live stream. And then happy days. And we managed to take another short down here on Euro USD. Okay. Did exactly the same again on Bitcoin. So currently running a short on Bitcoin where we understand the principle of the vector candle. So let's go into the 5-minute time frame. Why did I open this short on Bitcoin? What we just spoke about on the vector candle principle, where Mr. Market Maker shows his hand by building his shorts at the highest possible point. Now, at this point in the chart, guys, I said earlier that Bitcoin is last to move. Dollar index was moving up at the same time as Bitcoin. Euro USD was taking a nosedive to the downside, okay? Now you can see that the recovery of the vector candle was something I was anticipating. Saw the red-green vectors. I'm not interested in moving averages at this point. I'm just focusing exclusively on the principle of the vector candle. They initiated the move to the upside, got the trader committed to go long. He initiates a stop hunt rise, spikes price back down, consolidates, and then releases. And that's where we started running our short from. And it recovers all the vector candles inside this zone. Now I'm left with the idea of how much of the vector candle is Bitcoin going to recover. So if I go into higher time frames, principle would say that Bitcoin is due to come down and recover this. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit and wait for Bitcoin to move back up for me to hope that it's going to come back down. So whenever you see or are in a trade where Bitcoin recovers a vector candle, you got to make sure that you get out, because it's always at the recovery of a vector where they always like to reverse back up. Look what happened here. Recovery of the full green vector candles, and then the red vector candles come down, and then they instantly reverse price back up. Okay? Now, you've had quite a bit of information in regards to the vector candle principle. Okay? Now, I hope I haven't exploded your minds with too much information. But the key takeaway for you is this. A green vector candle is where Mr. Market Maker is starting to run his shorts and close his longs inside this particular point. He builds his longs when price is dropping, and you see that by principle of the red vector candle. And he closes his longs when price is moving up by principle of the green vector. But at the same time, he's building his shorts when price is rising up. And as you can see, they fully recovered that green vector candle. They even recovered it in an instance in this one right here. Okay? So if you are new to the channel and you want to make sense of the vectors, go through this exercise. Pull up any asset across the board and look for the vectors. Just go back in the chart so you've got history and just marry up the candlesticks. Okay? marry them up, and just understand the principle. Just say to yourself, okay, look, like, I'm starting to understand something. Why do they always recover them? Because this is where Mr. Market Maker starts his position. And he's about making money, ladies and gentlemen. So he's always going to come back into those zones. Now, some of you might say, yeah, but Tino, back in December 2019 at 7:15 in the morning, there was a vector candle down at that point and it hasn't been recovered yet, bro. All right, bro, that's December 2019. We ain't got to worry about that vector. You see, back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, if you go into the live streams, all right, we never really paid attention to these green vector candles, right? We weren't bothered about them when Bitcoin was all the way up here. We didn't need to pay attention to them because price wasn't anywhere near it. Why do I need to care about that vector candle? But when it started coming over here, we then started to pay attention to the idea that Bitcoin was likely to come back and test these zones. And look at that. Full, complete recovery of the vector candle on the monthly time frame. Ladies and gentlemen, mad love and respect, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. It does bring you into the introduction of what a vector candle is, just showing you a few trade examples and what have you. But it takes time. Now, if you are new, just do that practice. Go back in the chart, ladies and gentlemen, and marry up vector candles just so that you are training your eyes to understand the frequency of how often they recover them. So that the next time you see a green vector candle like this, you know that the retail trader who's looking at it like this, he's getting trapped, but you're getting ready to run a different position. Now, you might say, Tino, if that was a green vector candle, then why has price moved up? You know, how are you meant to see that? Well, that's for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll be going in again tomorrow to bring that fire for the New York live stream. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this video serves. Take care of yourselves, family. Peace.